Okay guys, fine. So let's get started. So yesterday we were discussing on the, what is that, Docker Compose. Okay. Yeah. So in order to do that one, guys, we need to install the Docker Compose first. Okay. First we need to install. Go to this website, guys. Come down. So select your environment. So since we are in Linux, so select the Linux one. So once you select that, it will provide some of the commands. Just execute those commands. So copy to this sudo curl something is there, right? Just copy this entire thing. Okay. And go to your Docker, to your instance and execute that command gets. Okay. So it will downloads the Docker Compose for us. Okay. So it is done. So one more command is there. So what it is going to do, it will give the permission to execute the Docker Compose. Okay, done. Then in order to verify, you can use this command. Hmm.
So I think Control D would work.
No, none of the commands are working here. So Docker hyphen compose hyphen version. Anything I missed here? Okay, so if the command Docker fails after installation, check the path. You can use the symbolic link use. Okay, so I'm getting, yes, now we got. Okay, Docker compose hyphen version. So you can see the Docker compose we have successfully installed. That is a 1.27. Okay. So before going to this one, so I want to explain one more thing. So let me open my Docker. This is the one. And one more thing, Docker compose.yaml. Sorry. What happened to my screen here, Abhi? Okay, let it be. Fine, guys. So this is the one YAML file, guys, Docker compose.yml. So for Docker file, okay, the D must be capital letter and Docker file, it is a single word, right? So like the same here, okay, here also we need to create in the same what do you call naming convention, okay, that is the Docker hyphen compose.yml. Okay, so your YML stands for YAM, yet another markup language here, okay, with an extension of YAML or YML. Okay, the extension like a YAML or with .yml. Okay, anything is fine. You can provide a full name, that is a YAML or YML. So here The space indents are very strict, guys, here. Okay, space indents. Okay, space indents are strict. Okay, and one more thing, it is a key value pair, guys. Okay, YAML files are always key value pair. Okay, so what is this key value pair here? Okay, let's say okay, we'll give the course name. Okay, COURSE course. Okay, and always, guys, in the YAML files, right? Okay, so whatever the key you are going to mention, okay, provide the colon, okay, and give one space. It's mandatory, guys. Okay, so this is the key, and what is the value here? We are providing the value as DevOps. Okay, so this is what called as a key value pair. So just a one simple example I'm taking, guys. So basically in a Ansible, I will tell you how to write this YAML files. Okay, so for time being, I'm just going to explain about this compose.yaml. Okay, so in detail we will learn in the Ansible part how to write this YAML files. Okay, so the two things, one is it is Ansible, YAML files are key value pairs. Another one is space indents are very strict. Not only strict, very strict. Okay, so for child modules, guys, here, okay, let's say what we will give. Okay, so let's say I want to list out of the what do you call fruits here. Okay, yes. Okay, so this is for child one. We need to give two space like this. Okay, and then write the fruits, whatever the fruits you have. Okay, just example I'm taking right now. Okay, then mango. So like that, for a child one, we need to give two space. Okay, this is, you are going to write these files in a Ansible, in Docker, and as well as in a Kubernetes. Okay, everywhere, most of the configuration you will find in a YAML files only, guys. Okay, so for I mean, initially we may feel difficulty here. Okay, but later on, once you start working with the Ansible and Kubernetes, right, it is very easy. Okay, fine. So let's go back here. Okay, yeah, here Docker Compose. Yeah. So here I'm going to, and one more thing is, as I told you, right, space indent are very strict. Okay, don't make any changes. Okay, I'm going to share this compose file. Okay, don't give like a extra one space or like this. Don't do like that. Okay, it is mandatory to have in the same space indents here. Okay, fine. Okay, so first, why we're using the Docker Compose? In order to run the multiple containers, okay, in a single shot, we are using this Docker Compose. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a one service. Okay, so I'm going to host a one application that is on a WordPress. Okay, so for that, since WordPress is a some application that requires something to be stored in a data, right? That means we are going to publish something, whatever the comments or some information, right? So all these things we are executing in a WordPress. Okay, so for that, since it is going to store some of the database must be available, right? Okay, in order to do that, I have created a one service that is called as a DB service, and another one service called as a WordPress. Okay, there is a two service I'm going to be created. Okay, so under DB service, I have set a some of the environment variables, because for my database I want to give the database name, what is the password, so all such information, what is the database name, password, and username, everything. Okay, so for that I have mentioned the environment. Okay, this is a one environment, and for this one you can see, guys, right? So this is a one main part. Under that I have given the two space here. Okay, like this, one, two. Always we need to give two space for a child modules. Okay, so MySQL underscore database. So what is the database I have name I have give is WordPress, the database name. What is the password I have passed also, I have mentioned like a WordPress, and the root password. Okay, so the root password I have mentioned as some WordPress. Okay, then what is the user to login user? Okay, so that is also I mentioned WordPress. Then what is the image I am using? So say what do you call the MySQL database I am using here, and the version I mentioned here as 5.7. Okay, and always one more thing is, if you don't mention any of the version numbers, right, so by default it is going to be download the latest version only. Okay, make sure that you mention the correct version. Okay, so it is going to download the MySQL version of 5.7. Okay, then I mentioned restart always. That means whenever the machine or instance going to be restarted, so this DB instance is going to be, this DB container is going to be up again. Okay, up and available. Okay, and then volumes. Okay, so since it is going to be store a data, if you don't provide this volume, okay, so what it is going to do, it is going to use the some binary numbers will be there, right? So that one. Okay, in order to avoid that one, we have given the named volume here, WordPress underscore data. So where it is going to store, under this location it is going to be stored. Okay, and for that I am giving the read write permission to execute. Okay, then comes the second one, the second service. Okay, the this second service, as you can see, there is a one more what do you call the key I have added, that is a depends on. So depends on what it is. Okay, depends on DB service, that is this one. Okay, whenever this WordPress is going to be start, so it requires the DB service should also get start here. Okay, hence I mentioned depends on. And then for this one also we have set the environment here. Okay, that is the DB host. What is the WordPress DB host I'm mentioning here? DB, and it is listening on the port number 3306. Okay, and what is the password? WordPress I gave. Okay, and the username, everything I mentioned WordPress, guys. And the image I'm using WordPress, and this is the latest one. Okay, if you provide the latest, it will download the latest one. If you don't provide mention anything, then also it will download the latest version, guys. Okay, then ports, so it is listening on 8880. Okay, and with the 80. So what is this 8880:80 here? Okay, so basically guys, the WordPress listens the port number of 80. So whatever, sorry, 8000, whatever the request comes to the 8000, it will be pointed to port number 80. Okay, so the whatever the request goes to our server, it will point to 80 first. Internally my instance will point to the 8000. That is the port mapping we used to do. Okay, and for this one also restart always, because whenever it is going to be down, it has to start all what do you call, it has to start the it has to restart automatically. Okay, then the version number is 3.0. That is what our Docker Compose version. And the volumes I mentioned like a WordPress data, this is what the volume it is going to be created. Here is one, right? The same thing it is going to be created, guys. Okay, this is a one simple Docker Compose file, guys. Okay, any doubts in this one? Okay, so what we will do now, we will copy this one, copy this entire thing. Okay, now we'll go to our instance. Okay, so as I said, I need to create a one file. Okay, what is the file name? docker-compose.yml. Okay, so let's create docker-compose.yml. Okay, enter. Okay, then press I, it will come in insert mode, and then paste the YAML file here. Okay, and then save this one, guys. Okay, so come down. Oh, this is our, okay. So now we have created the Docker Compose file, guys. Let's say what we will do, as I said, right, that space indents are very strict here, right? So let us try that one. Okay, so let's open my file and make some changes. Intentionally I'm making this some errors. Vi docker compose.yml. So where is the cursor? Okay, in the environment here I mentioned, right? Okay, So what I will give, I will give remove one space here like this. Okay, and then save this file. Okay, then how to check whether this YAML file is correct or no? Okay, in order to identify that one, guys, what we can do is we can run this command docker compose dot yml. Okay, config fig. Okay, if you get any error, guys, then there is something wrong with our YAML file. Okay, if you get the same file what we have mentioned, right, if you get the same file back, okay, as the output, then our docker compose file is correct. Okay, just enter. Okay, now it is saying at a line number 3 and column number 4 there is an error, guys. Okay, so now let's open the file back and remove this one, because we had I gave one, remove one space, right, just give one more space. Okay, and then save this file. Now check, execute the same file again. Now you'll get the output as the same file what we have mentioned there, right? So this is what the file which we have mentioned in the docker compose.yml is, right? Okay, if we get the same output, then whatever the configuration we have made, that it is correct, guys. Okay, otherwise something is wrong, we need to check that. Okay, keep it in mind, guys, always YAML files are, in the YAML file space indents are very strict. Okay, fine. Okay, so what are all the commands available? Okay, how to check that? Okay, you can execute docker hyphen compose hyphen help. Okay, so whatever the command, guys, if you're not understanding, just use the help command, guys. It will show all the information. Okay, how to execute, how to start, and all those services as well. Okay, just enter. You can see, so these are all the options available, guys. Okay, so build, it is going to be build, then config, create service, down. So all this information, okay, based on your requirement, you need to use this one. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to start the services here. Basically we want to check, right? Okay, so let me clear my screen. Okay, and we will up the services. Okay, so in order to do that, what is the file? Docker hyphen compose. Okay, up. Okay, enter. Sorry. Why it is happening like this? Okay, so basically, so docker hyphen compose up. Okay, hyphen d I forgot to give. Okay, so basically it is going to run in a detached modes. Okay, enter. Okay, now you can see it is create downloading the mysql hyphen 5.7, that image. And okay, it is saying some of them are already available. Okay, now it is creating the WordPress data, so WordPress image. Okay, it is done, guys. So now we can check the volume. We will check first. Okay, so how to check? Docker volumes, ls. Okay, you can see u12 underscore WordPress data which has been created. Okay, the WordPress has taken from my compose.yaml and this is from the OS. Okay, so u12 where that is my OS and it has created the volume called as a WordPress underscore data, guys. Okay, then how to check our containers are created or not, because in a single shot we have created the what do you call let us see, guys, what I forgot, docker ps. Yeah, you can see, yes. Okay, I have none of my containers are running, only the WordPress and MySQL is running right now. Okay, because in a single shot I have created here. Okay, and you can see it has been pointed to 000, whatever the inputs, whatever the what do you call hits come to this instance, guys. What you can see this IP address, right? 123. Okay, whatever the endpoints, I mean whatever the URL it is going to be hit to this one. Okay, it will be pointed to 83. Okay, 80 internally it will point to the 80000, guys. Okay, so in order to do that one, guys, what we will do is first we need to open the port numbers. Okay, so let's do that. So go to your instance and open the port number 80. So how to open the port number, guys? Any idea? Last time I told you. So click on this launch wizard. Click on actions and select inbound rules. Then select add rule, custom TCP. So open 80 port number and in a custom one mention zeros so that we can able to open it from anywhere in the world. Okay, and then save it. Okay, it has been successfully saved. Now we go back to our EC2 dashboard because we need to fetch the what do you call IP address of our machine. Okay, so just copy this one, copy the IP address, then go back here, take the new tab and open the port 80. Okay, it is saying connection refused. Okay, once again. One more thing, guys. This is custom. Okay. I just got confused, guys. I'm just trying once again. Yeah. So sorry, guys. Actually, I mistakenly once again. Where is that command? Yeah. So whatever the request comes to the 80 port now, guys. Okay, it will be pointed to 8000, guys. Okay. So this port number I have not opened, and that was an issue. Now you can see the WordPress has been opened, guys. Okay. So we need to install. So select the language English or any other language if you guys require, and click on continue. Okay, if you want to provide any name, okay, you can provide it. Let me give the name as a Devops. Username also will give the Devops. Password, let's give the same thing like a Devops. Confirm password. Okay, so abc@gmail.com. Okay, then you can click on install WordPress. Okay, login, DevOps, DevOps. Okay, so this is what our WordPress application guys. It is just one example guys. Okay, I wanted to do the Docker Compose, right? So using Docker Compose, I have installed the WordPress because WordPress is a one web application. You can using this one, you can publish your any of your information like any notes, whatever it is. Okay, you can use this one. Okay, like a post is there, right? And I click on this post, you can add a new post here. Okay, hello world, something is there already. Okay, then if you want something else, so whatever it is, okay, just this information I wanted to show you. Okay, how to use the Docker Compose guys. Okay, so let's go back here. So you can see guys, right now there is a two instances or containers are running right now. Okay, there is a WordPress and MySQL 5.7. Okay, if you want to make, okay, one more instance, okay, that is the WordPress, you require 2 to 3 instances you require, and in database of only one container is enough for you. Okay, so how to scale up and scale down here? Okay, in order to do that, you can find using the Docker Compose. Okay, hyphen help. Okay, you'll get the one option here, scale. Okay, here in the scale it is mentioning set the number of containers for a service. Okay, right now we have a two services are running, right? There is a one db server db, another one is the WordPress, correct? Okay, if you want to scale up, okay, you can use this scale command. Okay, so let's do that. So before that I need to check the services first. Okay, how to check the services? Okay, Docker service ps. Docker service ps. Yeah, let's will work here. No, is it service or services? One second, guys, I forgot. Okay, it will show only Docker PS, guys. Okay, not Docker PS service here. So the Docker service will work in a Docker Swarm. Okay, Docker PS. Okay, so you can see there is a two instances or containers which is running right now. Okay, so how to scale up here? Okay, so Docker hyphen compose scale. Okay, so which service you want to scale here? Okay, so basically you can see the service name. Okay, so the service name is available here. Okay, that is a db service or WordPress service, any one of this service. Okay, if you want to scale up, okay, if you're having the n number of information, if you want to store, okay, you can use this db service to be scale up. Okay, that means you are going to create a n number of containers basically. Okay, so scale. So what is the service name here? Let me use the service name as WordPress. Okay, how many we'll use? Let's use 3 here. Okay, the scale command is deprecated. You can use up command with hyphen scale. One second guys, because it is running in interactive terminal. Let's use, sorry, hyphen d will use hyphen d. Okay, let it run in a backend. Okay, now you can see Docker ps. Okay, now, sorry, Docker hyphen compose hyphen help. Okay, I want to check the services here. Start service, stop a service, pause, portion, scenarios, logs, let me see my notes. Docker hyphen compose, sorry. Doc. Docker compose hyphen D. Okay, hyphen scale. Scale. This is the service name. Let's use the DB equal to single quotes. Let's use 3. Okay, now yes. Now you can see guys the DB1. Okay, it has been triggered to 3 here now. Okay, 1 second. Let me clear my screen and show you one more time. Okay, Docker compose PS. Just a second, guys. I'm just stopping and explaining it one more time. Okay. So in order to check the services, guys, okay. So the command is docker hyphen compose ps. Okay. So the only the Docker Compose will show only the running containers, guys. Okay. Right now you can see the two services are running. Okay. One is the DB, another one is the WordPress. Right. If you want to scale up any one of the service, like application you want to scale or a DB you want to scale. Okay. In order to scale that one, you can use the command like Docker hyphen compose. So whatever the commands you execute with the Docker compose, guys, it has to, previously we are using only Docker. Okay. For Docker compose related one, you need to use Docker hyphen compose. Okay. Then up, that is I'm going to up the services. Okay. In a hyphen D, that means it is going to be run in a detached mode. That will the containers are going to be triggered in the backend. Okay. Then use hyphen scale, because if you want to scale the service. Okay. And what is the service name you want to scale? Okay. Where is the service name? So this is what the service. Okay. That is a DB service, WordPress service, any one of the service which you want to scale. Okay. That one. Then let's use, I will use the scale as a database. Okay. So the service name is database equal to, and in the single quote mention how many values you require. Okay. Let's say I will use 4 values. That means 4 containers it is going to be created, guys. Okay. You can see right now the previous command it has showed only 2, WordPress 1 and DB 1. Okay. Now I'm scaling up the DB services to 4 containers. That means 4 services it is going to be created, guys. Now, okay. Let's enter. You can see it is going to be scale up now, right? Now you execute the same command, guys. That is a docker hyphen compose ps. Now it will show the 4 database containers. Okay, 1 second, it went down, it seems. Just a second, guys. So Docker, this is my instance. Copy the command. Okay, then keep there. Why it is not connecting? Is what's happened? Docker Swarm we can multiple containers. Docker Compose also multiple containers. Let's Swarm. So Docker Swarm is used for the clustering purpose only. Okay. So Docker Compose is used for the in order to create the multiple containers, whereas the Docker Swarm is used for in order to create the multiple instances. Okay, in a multiple we will be having the multiple instances. Under that we will be having the multiple nodes. Okay, under that we used to scale up and scale down our instances. Now, why this instance went down? Why it is not getting start? Just a second, guys. I'm just restarting this instance. We'll see why it is not connecting. Reboot. So the Docker Swarm is just like your Kubernetes, right? How in a Kubernetes we used to create a cluster, okay? In the same manner here also, but there are some disadvantages is there with the Docker Swarm, okay? So hence the Kubernetes comes into the picture. Kubernetes is having is specially available for this one only, Kubernetes, what you call clustering purpose only. Till that time, let me open my notes, okay? Yeah, guys, okay. So this is what the commands we have just now checked. Okay, in order to start your instances, okay, you can use the command docker compose. So what are the whatever the commands you want to execute for the docker compose, right? It has to be prefixed with the docker hyphen compose. Whereas the containers, whereas the docker we are using only docker. Whereas for the docker compose we need to use docker hyphen compose, guys. Okay, and then in order to scale up the services, okay, you can use the same command docker compose up -d that is going to be run in the backend. You can provide dt or only d, okay, both works fine, there is no issues. Then use the parameter hyphen scale, it is going to be scale. So whatever the service name you want, okay, and whatever the values, okay, whatever the how many instance you require, okay, under single quote you need to provide, guys. Okay, it is going to start those many services. Okay, and if you want to check those services you can execute the command docker compose ps. Whereas in a docker only docker ps it will show only running containers. Okay, whereas the docker compose hyphen ps, sorry, whereas the docker hyphen compose ps, it will show the docker compose related services. Okay, and if you want to down the service, guys, you need to use docker hyphen compose down. Okay, what it is going to do, it is going to do what are all the services was there, right? In our example we are having the wordpress and database. Okay, so both the services it is going to be taken down. Okay, so these are all the commands. So why this instance went down, I don't know, I need to fix this. You guys please create this one, okay, and execute it. I'm going to share this YAML file. Okay, okay guys, it is not connecting. I will try to fix. Okay, why it is not fixed, trying. Okay, why it is not connecting. So till that time, guys, you can practice that one. Okay, docker compose. After this session I'm going to share that YAML file, please practice. Okay, so tomorrow we'll start the docker swamp. Okay, and then yeah, okay, we'll see. Right guys, any doubts till now?
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah, may I know the difference between like Ansible and this Docker Compose?
Ansible and docker compose, there is nowhere related here. See, Docker Compose, it is, Docker itself is a containerization tool, okay, whereas the Ansible is for the configuration management tool, it is. But
In Ansible,
whatever, yeah, but whatever the configurations or settings we are going to write, right? So those will be in the YAML files.
but we use YAML files in this Ansible also, right? For
Yes,
installing the apps,
yes, yes,
MySQL,
yes.
like that.
Yeah, whatever the script, okay, in Kubernetes and Ansible, okay, it will be in the YAML files only. Okay, so I will explain clearly while taking the session with the Ansible. Okay, how to write this YAML files. Okay, any other doubts, guys? Okay, so tomorrow I will update, guys. Okay, why this instance went down? It is not went down, by basically it is not connecting. Okay, I will check this one and update you. Okay, and parallelly we will start the docker swarm tomorrow. Okay, and I think we'll start sharp at 9 p.m. Okay, because since we are going to create a cluster, it takes some time. Okay, because I will take one instance as a master, another two instance as a nodes. Okay, and then we'll deploy some of the containers. Okay, fine guys, then tomorrow we'll catch up. Okay, bye, good night guys, have a great day.